Today, we're going to run through an OET speaking practice test. First, I'll give you an overview. Then, we'll practice some preparation techniques. And finally, I'll show you a high-scoring sample role play. Let's jump straight in, starting with an overview of the speaking test. The OET speaking test is made up of 2 role-play conversations between you and an expert who OET calls the interlocutor. You play the role of a health professional, and the interlocutor plays the role of a patient or carer in both role plays. First, there is the warm-up phase. It lasts for 2 to 3 minutes. You'll be asked questions about your professional background, such as where you did your training, your specialization, why you chose your profession, and how long you have been working in healthcare. The warm-up is not graded by the interlocutor. Instead, use this phase as an opportunity to settle down and ease into your conversation. At the end of the warm-up, the interlocutor will then hand you the role-play card. This signals the beginning of the preparation phase. In the preparation phase, you're given 3 minutes to analyze the role-play card and make any notes you find useful. The role-play card that you'll be given will look like this. The role-play card contains details about the setting, such as where you work, for example, in a hospital or clinic, and your role, such as a nurse, doctor, or dentist. It also describes the context of the conversation, such as you are speaking to a patient who is concerned about their medication. The main body of the role-play card is a list of 4 or 5 tasks that you need to cover during the conversation. These tasks guide the flow of your interaction and focus on different aspects of communication. Each task is designed to assess a specific skill, such as your ability to gather information, provide advice, offer reassurance, or explain a procedure. The 3 minutes will go quickly, so use this time effectively. To help you with that, I'll show you how to carefully and systematically analyze a role-play card and break down the requirements of each of the bullet point tasks. Get ready with a pen and paper to make a few notes. So let's look at the role-play card again. On the left-hand side, you'll see 3 headings: the setting, your role, and tasks. Start with the setting. Stop and think about it for a moment. The setting is important because it shapes how you communicate and what style of language you should use. For example, you should use more formal language in a hospital, but for a home visit, your tone can be warmer, more relaxed, and conversational. In this scenario, the setting is a local medical clinic, so the tone you should use can be a bit more informal but professional. Let's take some notes. Write down setting, clinic, semi-formal tone. Next, let's focus on the role. This role-play card, for example, tells us that you are a doctor having a consultation with a patient. This gives you important information about the subject of the conversation. Here, the patient had a mild heart attack and is at your clinic because he is concerned about doing physical activity. So we now know much of the conversation is likely to be about recovery management and exercise. Let's add this to our notes and jot down: scenario, 45-year-old patient, mild heart attack, good recovery, concerns regarding physical activity. Learning how to read and analyze the role-play card teaches you how to anticipate the subject of your conversation with the interlocutor. This becomes even more apparent when we take a closer look at the bullet point tasks. Here's our list of tasks again. Each task is a prompt that gives you a clear step or point you should cover during the role play. The tasks help you move through the conversation logically, like a checklist to make sure you don't miss anything important. In the preparation time you have, it might feel like there's a lot to absorb quickly, but don't let yourself get bogged down. Rather than focusing on detail, I'll give you a helpful tip. Focus on what each task is asking you to do. The bullet points you'll be given will follow a pattern that aligns with a task type. These task types will require you to gather information about the patient, gather information about their symptoms or condition, provide reassurance or emotional support, explain something, often a condition or procedure, to the patient, and advise the patient about something relating to their condition. The order of these tasks will shift around a bit between role-play cards, but the same task types will appear on most role-play cards. Let's quickly go through the 5 tasks on our sample card, and I'll show you what I mean. Starting with the first task, it says, find out the reason for the patient's visit. Okay, what type of task is this? It's a gather information task. You'll need to ask the patient who they are and why they are there. I'll jot this down as a note. Bullet point 1. Gather information about patient. Why did they make the appointment? Even though we already know the answer because we've scanned the task card, you need to ask it anyway. They may provide some new information not on the task card that'll help guide your response from there. Okay, let's look at bullet point number 2 now. This bullet point is interesting. It combines 2 tasks in one. That does not appear very often, but it can pop up from time to time, so you need to be aware. Here, the first part of the task says, reassure the patient about fatigue, but then we also see, explain recovery and importance of exercise. So, it's both a reassure and explain something task type. I'll jot this down as a note. Bullet point 2. Reassure, fatigue, be sympathetic. Explain exercise is important. Things you might talk about in your conversation is why fatigue is normal and how exercise will help resolve that over time. But you'll need to extend your responses. Let's now look at the third bullet point. The third bullet point refers to giving recommendations and advice about exercise, rehab, and exploring their job. This task is interesting too. It looks like multiple tasks, but really it's just one. Giving recommendations and advice are basically the same thing. I'll make a quick note of that. Bullet point 3. Give advice about exercise and rehab. Inquire about work. Turning now to the fourth bullet point, it mentions giving a timescale to the patient about returning to work. This task type is like explaining a procedure or process involving a series of steps or sequence of events. In this case, being emotionally and physically ready. So I'll jot down bullet point 4, explain recovery process, physical, emotional readiness for return to work. Finally, role plays often end with a bullet point requiring you to give advice to the patient. In this role play card, we can see that's also the case. I'll jot down bullet point 5, advice on prevention, i.e., diet, lifestyle, etc. As you can see, our notes are a highly simplified version of the role play card. If you've made good notes, you'll find it much easier to follow the tasks laid out in your notes rather than trying to read the card. If you're wanting more information about how to master OET speaking, watch our detailed methods lesson at e2language.com, available in a range of free and premium E2 OET test prep courses. Soon, we'll look at a new role play card. I want you to pause the video and practice the preparation phase of the role play. Analyze the role play card just as I showed you and make notes of the key pieces of information on the card. You'll have 10 seconds to pause the video, then we'll review the preparation notes. After that, we'll look at a sample role play. Okay, here's your role play card. Pause the video and prepare your notes now. Okay, how did you go? Let's compare your notes with a sample. Here it is. Starting with the setting, let's write down setting, doctor's office. Next, here are the notes of the scenario. Scenario, 31-year-old patient, acne flare-ups, embarrassed. Now turning to the bullet points, the first is bullet point 1, gather information about symptoms. Beginning, frequency. Now for bullet point 2. Bullet point 2, gather information about possible causes, lifestyle, diet, skincare. Bullet point 3, explain no link between dairy and condition. Washing, squeezing. Bullet point 4, reassure, not uncommon. Ask about treatments tried. Finally, bullet point 5, explain, topical ointment and advise, recommend referral to a dermatologist, long-term treatment. Now that we have a complete set of notes, I'll share a sample roleplay with you. Keep an eye on the notes to follow the flow of the roleplay. Let's watch now.
Good afternoon, Lauren. My name is Dr. Merchant. I'll be the doctor taking care of you today. Can you tell me what brings you in?
Oh, hello, doctor. Thanks for seeing me. Well, I thought I should come. Well, it's a bit embarrassing actually. It's my skin. I've come to see you because I have this terrible acne on my face. It seems to be getting worse, I think, and I just don't know how to fix it. So I've come to see you for some help.
I'm really sorry to hear about your acne. Well, let's try to get to the bottom of it today. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about when this all started?
I think it was about 3.5 months ago I first noticed it coming up. Yeah.
So, 3.5 months ago. Okay. Have you noticed the rash coming and going, or has it always been there?
No, it seems to come and go in kind of breakouts about once a month, once every 3 weeks. Then it takes about 3 or 4 days to go down. It's just so embarrassing, doctor. I can't tell you. I'm so fed up with it.
I can tell that you're struggling with it. Hopefully, we can help you out today. Can you tell me any other symptoms that you are having in association with the rash?
Well, they're just these red, small red spots that come up under the skin. Sometimes they blow up into very large boils, and I do try and squeeze them to make them go away, and they're now coming down my back as well. So sometimes they're quite painful.
Okay. And have you tried anything that makes it feel better?
Well, I've tried so many creams from the pharmacy, but nothing seems to work. I even went to see a naturopath and was given some vitamins, but they haven't worked. I just really need something fast acting now to fix it.
Okay. Have you noticed anything that makes it worse, such as any soaps or detergents you might be using?
Well, I've been cleaning my skin even more often than usual, like 3 times, 4 times a day, to get rid of any bacteria, but it's making it worse if anything.
And have you had any changes in your diet or anything that you think that might have caused your skin rash?
I can't think of anything. Lately, my diet's been the same. I eat quite healthily, but I do enjoy a lot of dairy food, and my friend told me that could be making it worse. Do you think that's true?
No, there's no clear evidence or proven link between eating dairy and causing acne. And I also heard that you mentioned that you've been squeezing it to make it go away. I would avoid doing that for a couple of reasons. One is that it can cause scarring, and the other one is that it might make it worse by potentially spreading bacteria to other areas of your skin.
I didn't realize that.
In your opinion, what do you think might be the cause of this reaction?
Do you know what? I just can't work it out. I just don't know. I think my friend had a problem like this and she was given some tablets and that fixed it up. So I'm hoping you could give me some strong medication today.
Well, I am so sorry that it is so uncomfortable. This isn't an uncommon condition, and there are few things we can do today to help you with that. I will prescribe some medication today, but I also think it's also important to be realistic about the treatment. It may take some time before you know what treatment works best and for your skin to get a little bit better.
Okay, so you're telling me that we won't solve the problem today?
We'll get you started on the path to recovering. I can provide a fairly strong topical cream for you for the short term, and I will also refer you to a dermatologist for further care as well.
What's a dermatologist?
A dermatologist is another physician, kind of like myself, but they're specialized in taking care of skin related issues. So that's all they focus on. They will be able to give you a long term treatment and find the root of the problem for you. It is important that you know that this condition is not uncommon, so don't worry. The dermatologist is an expert in identifying potential causes and working out the best treatments.
All right, well, that sounds like a plan. I'm happy to see someone else as long as I can get on top of it. You know, I don't even go out anymore. I've canceled all my social engagements because it's got so bad it's affecting my mental health.
I can see how that would be, very, very difficult for you to go out. Hopefully, the treatment with the topical cream and referring you to a dermatologist can help ease that for you.
Okay, thank you, doctor. I appreciate your help.
You're very welcome. Please let me know if there's anything else I can help you with today.
So, how was that? Were you able to see how our notes lined up nicely with the sequence of the roleplay? Let's do a quick review why this roleplay was a successful one for the candidate. The candidate did a nice job introducing themselves to the interlocutor, a nice way to get the conversation started. Their tone is consistent with them being in a medical clinic as it is semi formal, friendly, and empathetic. So, that's it for today's OET speaking practice test. Please let me know in the comments how you did or if you'd like another video lesson like this one. Be sure to check out e2language.com for more OET speaking practice tests, mock tests, live classes, and one-on-one tutorials available in a range of our premium OET test preparation courses. Good luck on your OET preparation. See you next time.